Hey everyone, this is Mike here at the QuiverCast. Special offer for you all. The Endless Summer box set. It's written by Dana Brown and signed by Bruce Brown. This is such a killer deal. Go on to theendlesssummerbook.com. Check it out.
I just want to surf. I don't want to work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. I just want to surf.
All right, welcome back to the QuiverCast. And today we have no other bold claim, but I'm pretty sure the best surfer to ever come from Pennsylvania, Ben Gravy.
Maybe the best surfer to ever come out of Birch Runville, Pennsylvania.
Now, I'm sure I'm claiming the whole state.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, right? I mean, who's better? Do you know anybody else that as a world renowned as you from Pennsylvania?
Maybe not. My buddy Rob Kelly is a really good surfer. He's from Pennsylvania too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, Rob Kelly does rip.
Yeah, he's a really good surfer.
That dude shreds. Did he live there as long as you did? Like growing up?
I think we both moved to New Jersey around the same time, but probably like right after 8th grade. We both we kind of came down here for high school kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he a committed surfer? I mean, I'm asking a lot about.
Rob actually got good at surfing really late, 16 years old, but
Right.
late in life because he was the guy that he kind of came out of nowhere. He would always be getting knocked out, and then the next year he'd make the finals, and then the next year he was top 3, and then the next year he's winning everything. So
Yeah.
He
No, that guy rips.
yeah, he came out of nowhere. Pretty cool.
So you have this period in your life growing up. So you grew up in Pennsylvania,
Yep.
and you learned how to surf in Jersey Shore, right?
Yeah.
All this is documented, so we'll just fly through it real quick. But was the stoke of surfing what got your parents to move to Jersey?
So, my mom grew up in a town called Margate in South Jersey, right near Atlantic City. And my dad, he summered in Avalon, which is a little bit south of us. So my parents met at Westchester University when my mom was going to school and fell in love and got married and had my older brother. And my dad had started a landscaping business in Pennsylvania. And my mom was like, all right, well, I guess I got to move to Pennsylvania after they got married. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And then when my dad became successful enough to buy a house at the beach, he bought a house in a town called Longport, which is now multi-million-dollar community. But he bought a house in 1999 for $100,000 in Longport. And then my grandma lives down here, my aunts, my uncles, everybody. So
Yeah, the family.
yeah, so we would come down on weekends and then summers, and then we eventually were just like, all right, we're moving because of surfing. Yeah,
Because of surfing.
yeah.
Ultimately.
Ultimately, yeah, but there was so many family connections down here, so it just made sense.
Did you feel like an outsider, or did you feel like you belonged to the community when you moved there?
A little bit of both, but I've kind of always felt like an outsider, to be honest with you. I mean, of course, I had friends both places, but I didn't really fit in Pennsylvania because nobody surfed. The closest thing that they did was skateboard.
Yeah.
And it's similar, but it's not the same. And then, in Jersey, then I'm the kid from PA, so I'm kind of an outsider. But
Right.
I had great friends growing up in Pennsylvania and great friends in New Jersey. But yeah, I've always kind of just done my own thing and stuck to my own program. So I kind of just roll with that lifestyle.
Okay.
I embrace it.
Do you still feel like an outsider now?
Yeah, definitely. I do.
Why?
I don't know. That maybe there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just not really status quo with surfing or anything that I do. So, well, maybe one thing is I'll be like, hey guys, we got to go do this. And then everyone's like, nah, that doesn't sound fun at all. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't sound fun? They're like, it's knee high, dude. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm just going myself.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
just a little bit of that, but it's all good. Good fun.
Okay, so you said something about surfing and the status quo. So, I've interviewed a lot of surfers. How do you feel like the mainstream surf community? Do they embrace you or do they blow you off? Like, what do you feel about that?
I think I'm kind of like getting through the barrier, or maybe I'm through it. But in the beginning, I believe that people tried to write me off for sure. Because, I mean, I'm well aware that my surfing skills, like my technical surfing skills, aren't like at a world-class level. But somehow I got global recognition through what I was doing with the novelty waves and stuff. So a lot of people in the beginning especially tried to write me off, and because my skills weren't like, you know, Challenger Series or QS or CT level. But I've made a lot of really good friends, I think, because I never really saw myself as a surfer and I wasn't really trying to penetrate surfing. And I think people just saw that genuine aspect about me. And I think that's kind of what like Jamie O'Brien saw in me. He was just like, oh, this guy's not really competitive. He's not really trying to be the guy. He's not really trying to, I don't know, impress anybody. So I think he liked that about me, and Jamie kind of took me under his wing. And also Kelly has been really good to me too. Like he I don't know, just he showed me respect early on when he definitely didn't have to.
Yeah.
I think that made me feel a little bit of embrace, I guess. But I also am always just, I think it's important in life, whether you're surfing or anything that you're doing, any job that you do or mission that you're on, to focus on yourself and not get too caught up in what else is going on in the world. And that's just kind of my mantra and how I live. So that makes things easier for me. But overall, I see a lot less articles on Surfer and Stab magazine bashing me. In the beginning, it was quite a few, which is all right. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. But let's break that down a little bit. I think every Grom 10 years ago and back further, and maybe even today, the Groms, they love you. You're like their idol. Like, I remember my son watching you and being so stoked. I didn't know who you were. He showed me the video, and I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's doing something totally different. So, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks, yeah.
Everywhere in the world, I think. I mean, I don't know how the rest of the world is, but at least in Southern California, where I'm at.
Yeah, thank you.
If you watch the Grom contest, they all were trying to be like you. They'd be stoked to have met you, kind of thing.
That's cool.
Also, I'm going to ask you for your perspective. Do you think the surf world, everyone thinks they're too cool?
Well, I don't know what that is, but I think it's part of the culture. And I think people,
100%.
I don't think people are thinking and realizing that they're acting like that. I think for me, it's really easy not to get wrapped up in that, because I tried to be pro when I was younger, and then I had to get a normal life, and I worked in video production, and then all this crazy stuff happened to me, and now I surf for a living. But I got such a good perspective because I got so humbled at a young age, and I think that doesn't happen to everybody. So I think they're not even really thinking that they're cool, but maybe they're just acting like they're thinking that, like that. There is a little bit of an elitist vibe in surfing that it's whatever. But I think it's definitely interesting and kind of weird. It's a weird part of surfing. I don't really understand it.
Okay. Fair enough. You said you try to be pro and stuff. Did you try QSs, or are you talking about NSSAs or ESAs? Or?
Well, I did ESA, NSSA, junior pros, and then I started doing the QS. But then when I was 19, my dad was like, hey, buddy, time to go to college.
Okay. So you just agreed and went?
Yeah.
Do you think that was best for you?
No, absolutely. It definitely was.
Okay.
I had a totally different perspective, and maybe I didn't understand what I had at the time, because I had a few sponsors, but mostly obviously my dad was paying for me to do contests and go on a couple trips every year. I guess I didn't realize how special that was, but then when I got into like real life, I was like, whoa, that was a dream. So maybe subconsciously I've always worked to get back to that dream. But yeah, I was pretty stoked because I've been filming and editing. I used to edit on like 2 VCRs stacked on top of each other.
Mm.
And I used to plug a CD player into it and make like background music. And I used to film high 8, mini DV, VHS cameras. Surfing is definitely a passion of mine, but I would say that, production and filmmaking and that is definitely equal in my heart. So when I had the opportunity to go to film school, I took it. I thought I was stoked for it.
Was getting into film school easy, hard?
I went to a school that accepted everybody. It was
Okay.
It was a more of a trade school where it wasn't about the academics really. It was about just learning the craft of video production. So they accept everybody. So it was pretty easy, but I did fail the the math test.
Math sucks.
Yeah, so I had to take like a non-credited math. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Pretty classic.
Did you know, or did you have plans of, at that point, I'm talking about years ago in the video class, that you were going to go this route in life, or did it kind of happen organically?
No, absolutely not. I had no plans. What's kind of funny is I've been uploading to YouTube since 2006. When I was in high school, I surfed for Billabong and Globe Shoes, and I would send them YouTube edits, and they would just kind of like brush them off. They'd be like, what is this kid doing? I always saw that side of it, and I don't think a lot of people saw it for a really long time. Now I think everyone's keen to it, but yeah, I used to try to like show my sponsors like, hey, look at this. Like this video got 1,000 views.
Smart.
So I always saw it. I never really anticipated that I could become successful at it because I thought that you had to be a world-class surfer to be successful at making surf content.
Fair enough. I mean, you were early on, as you said. Did you know that YouTube was going to blow up like it did, or did you have thoughts that it would?
Like my personal channel or just in general?
Just in general. No, just YouTube in general.
No, well, the surfing industry is really late to YouTube. There was people vlogging for 8 years before I started vlogging. I've been on YouTube for so long that I knew what was possible on it. And that's why when I started doing the vlog, I just started uploading every day because I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to try this, I'm going to give myself the best shot. I was also self-medicating by making vlogs because I got sober the year that I started my vlog. So I was kind of like giving myself something to do. Yeah.
Keeping out of trouble?
Yeah.
Kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. If you're editing, you can't be out at the bar, dude.
It's 100% true. Do you enjoy editing?
I do. I always say it's my first love because people hate editing so much, and I edit every day. I edit probably a minimum of 4 hours a day, and I actually love it. I love it.
What about being on the road and editing? Not having your own room? Yeah,
it's a little bit challenging. I'm pretty good at sucking it up. There's definitely some times that I'm in my car, and I have a hot laptop on my legs, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing right now? But it's not so bad. In the beginning I was going every day, but now I can take a couple of days off and not feel guilty. So
yeah, obviously you switched when you got sober to surfing was kind of your fix, and you're saying editing also.
Yeah,
was kind of what helped you keep you straight. Is surfing or even editing, or even though it's a positive thing, is that good for you?
Yeah, like I always have to be doing something.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's part of my personality. And I think if I'm going to direct that somewhere, if I'm directing in a positive direction, like I'm definitely addicted to work 100%, but I'd rather be addicted to work than addicted to alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't stop, and my wife gets mad at me, but I can't stop thinking about the next step. Even if it's something that has nothing to do with my career, like if I'm like building something at the house or whatever, like I'm always like, and I always have like a mental checklist going, and it's part of my personality, and it's probably not healthy, but for right now we're managing. So we'll see.
Have you ever thought about doing something else on YouTube or something else creative that no one else has done? Because you've kind of made this genre of surfing on YouTube. In my belief, I'm sure there was surfing out there also, but you invented what you are.
Yeah,
and everyone's followed in my opinion.
I think maybe this is like my big achievement in life.
Okay.
So I don't really know.
It's a huge achievement. Yeah.
Thank you. If I was going to focus this much energy on anything else, I think I would focus it on like making money or something. Not that I haven't made decent money doing what I do and I love it, but this has been passion straight from the heart. Like I never thought that I was going to actually become successful at doing this. So I was just doing it because it's what I wanted to do. I do think about that sometimes. I'm like, was doing the 50 states and having that big movie premiere, like, was that my moment? Or like, maybe I have more to give. And then sometimes I wake up and I feel like, all right, I have more to give. Like I'm going to continue changing the world and keeping people stoked. And then other days I'm like, maybe that was it for me. And either way, I guess you got to give yourself a little bit of grace in life and just be like, either way, it is what it is. We're all kind of here just like living. I think as long as I'm making people feel good, then I'm on the right path. It's not always a direct path. Like I don't always know where I'm going.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, I have a pretty good idea of the next couple of years of my life mapped out, but who knows? You know what I mean? Maybe people will just stop watching YouTube videos. So who knows?
Do you see anything else in the future that's going to happen soon that you might jump on? Which I don't know what it is.
As far as like social media.
It's content. Yeah, it's just content.
I think for me, I give people some type of inspiration through what I'm doing. And I think as long as I keep chasing waves and kind of showing people how good life can be and showing people that it doesn't have to be 6 foot and perfect to enjoy it. And I think as long as I keep, like every now and then I come up with a challenge that I really want to do and like I get fixated on it. But I think as long as I continue to just push forward and keep it positive and kind of keep just sharing what I'm doing, I hope that's the path I'm supposed to be on. But we'll see. Like who really knows?
How do you come up with these creative ideas of like the 50 states of surfing? Like how?
Yeah, well, they just pop into my head. And then
like you're sleeping and you're dreaming and all, this is what it is.
I dream some stuff. Yeah. And then then it somewhat becomes compulsive behavior. Like I start analyzing it and then being like, oh, here's the steps that it'll take to accomplish this surfing 7 seas in 7 days. Like, I think I can figure this out. And then it's like, oh, I figured that out. Oh, I can figure the next part out. And then it's also, once again, kind of just part of my personality, I think. It's like, okay, how can we take something ridiculous and impossible and make it fun and kind of punish myself for other people's entertainment, but at the same time, like, enjoy the hell out of it, you know?
Okay. What about camera's always on you, it seems like. I'm sure when it's turned off, but it seems like every day you have the camera on you. Does that get rough?
I film essentially every day. No, it doesn't. I don't really put pressure on myself to like perform. If it just is what it is. Because like I feel like if people watch enough of me, I think they know that like I'm not always, because I know I'm known as like the stoked guy, like stoked,
positive.
But I'm not always like overly stoked. Like sometimes I'm just like, hey, check it out. We're at the beach. Like this is what the waves look like. You know, and it is what it is. But I definitely have learned about myself that I do have an underlying positivity I just carry with me. Like I do always look at the best part of a situation. But I think that has helped me so much just push through all the times when I'm like questioning what I'm doing, because I'm just like, well, I'm doing what I want to be doing, or this is cool. I'm not really worried about how anyone else is perceiving this wave or this thing.
Yeah.
As long as I'm loving it and I'm cool with it, like I'm just going to do it. And
so one thing I noticed about myself over the last few days, watching some of your videos, which I've watched, like I said, way back in the day when my son was young, is I literally saw myself smiling watching your videos. It's like contagious almost. It's trippy. I didn't realize.
I'm so happy to hear that, dude.
I mean, does that make sense? It doesn't even make sense to me. I didn't realize. But I literally saw myself smiling.
That's amazing. Dude, that's really cool. Like, I'm actually like honored to hear that.
Oh, cool.
Because I don't really think about how. Obviously, I try to keep my videos as light and fun, and I need like there needs to be like some point to the video. But I'm not thinking about like how are people going to perceive this. I'm kind of just like I'm just kind of doing it, and that's really cool. So I'm happy to hear that. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, I was. It was a trip to myself, even to be honest with you.
I think like I do believe that you do pick up on the real energy of someone if you're watching what you know what I mean. Like I feel like if I'm bummed in a video, it will show through, and if I'm genuinely stoked, like people will be genuinely stoked. That's an interesting part of this whole content thing that like I don't know if we've tapped into like understanding quite yet, but genuine stoke shows through the screen, I believe.
Well, they say like the real life shows, like the real life of Wives of New York. Or I've never watched that show, but,
yeah.
But,
I've seen a lot of it.
Okay, you're into it.
My wife
then.
loves it. No, I'm not.
Okay, your wife loves it. Okay, but like the world loves it, I believe. What I hear, but there's still kind of a screenplay they're playing along with, right?
Definitely.
Are you doing like a screenplay, or do you kind of just?
No.
Do you have it written out before that day, before the camera's record button's pushed?
No, but if I have like a big budget project, like I'll know the 5 things that I have to say or do throughout the day, but I allow it to be very much what it is. And that's like something that I'm pretty dedicated to, like just being like, okay, I can see an opportunity in a moment sometimes, but I'm not scripting things out. But I am like, okay, this would be a good time to bring up the fact that we have to get from point A to point B and finish this. But other than that, it's kind of all just happening as it happens.
Do you put yourself in a time slot? Like you have this amount of time?
Nah.
Not Hollywood whatsoever.
It's pretty much just my life, but a lot of my life is dictated by the tides, I'll tell you that. High tide. That's my time slot. On the East Coast.
Well,
wind. Oh my God, yeah. But I just surfed for like an hour and a half and just straight onshore wind. I just, sometimes you gotta.
Okay. A typical surfer's question is, there's some days where it's just like, shit, you don't want to go out. Do you make yourself go out?
I used to. I had 2 injuries back to back in small waves. And I have learned that if I get that feeling or if I feel like I'm forcing it, I shouldn't do it. I think that's the message that the universe was trying to send me. I just go with the flow, dude. If I'm feeling it, even if it's crappy, I'll go. And if I'm not feeling it and it's kind of good, I won't. Actually, if the waves are kind of decent and I'm not really feeling it, I'll just film. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Or who are you filming? Your buddies?
Well, sometimes I get my filmers to go out. Like I'll trade with them. There's my buddy Palm Beach Perry is always. I always get clips of him too. But Mackie, dude, he's the guy.
You're also, I think, a talented musician.
Oh, thank you.
So I had Slippery Surfer on my show years ago.
Nice, dude.
years ago.
That guy's a riot.
Okay, so how did you guys build a relationship?
So he reached out to me. He was coming to Texas, and I had seen him on Stab, though, before. He had like a music video, Surfers with Attitude.
Yeah.
I think everyone saw that.
Yeah.
So, but he reached out to me just because he was going to be at Waco.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yo, I'd love to come surf with you or whatever. And I was like, dude, come stay, like whatever. And he ended up coming and staying for like 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it was. And we just clicked and we made a couple fun little songs. And then he always makes me rap, dude, which like, I'm fine with rapping because I can do it. But like, you know what I mean? I might be a little old to be rapping, but I do like making music though. It's good fun.
Yeah, your music's good. So that song with you and him too. I dig that song.
I Just Want to Surf, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to record that for real. I think that song could do all right.
I think it would do very well, actually, to be honest with you. Several of your songs.
Yeah, I think people would be stoked on that.
He has his own vibe kind of thing going, kind of like you, but not like you too.
Yeah.
Kind of And I dig. I know he's kind of an outsider too, but that guy, some of his music's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is, and he's a super nice guy. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, totally. In friendships and surfing, have you made enemies in surfing?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Perfect.
I've had a couple people try to like poke at me.
Well, that's because you're famous, though. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think everyone gets that, no matter what.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I really just live my life, and I just like, I have a really good mindset for like what is dumb to waste your time on and what is good to waste your time on.
I like that.
So like that stuff just doesn't bother me. But nah, I mean, I don't really get involved. I've never pretty much had any issues with anybody. Because I don't really get like agitated by people or whatever. Like I'm pretty understanding too about if people have some type of issue. Like,
well, some people just are looking for trouble just to be like on YouTube comments. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, that's just,
you just got to blow them off.
Yeah,
right?
like, well,
in my opinion.
I mean, my thing is like the amount of YouTube videos I watched in my life and the amount of comments I've probably commented. The only time I ever comment is like if it's a new channel that would be stoked if I commented, or if it's one of the boys like Jamie or something. But like, dude, imagine leaving like a critical comment about someone after watching them online. That's an interesting case study right there.
Yeah, but it's so American, I think, or even I don't get it personally.
Yeah, the internet, dude.
The internet. So okay, well, do you think the internet and let's just group it all together, social media, YouTube, is that been positive for our society?
No.
Or negative?
I think it's been negative. Because I think, and I'm probably part of the problem, but I also try to explain in my videos like what it's all about. Like it's all about being in the moment in front of you. And that's happiness. Like that's how you do it. Like you got to just be here. If you're thinking about everything that you see online, it's going to create depression. It's going to be like, oh, why aren't I there? Look how good the waves are there. Or look how good this person's life is or whatever. So I always try to tell, like, I know kids watch my videos and I always try to just be like, hey, it's all about this moment that you're in right here. Like you got to be here or you're going to chip away your happiness. And I think it's just an important thing to just look at your feet and just be like, yo, I'm on the ground right here. This is me.
Do you know who your audience is?
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Do you think it's kids? Who do you think the audience is? Is it all surfers?
It's not all surfers. I actually get a lot of comments that people always say, like, I don't even surf. I just watch your videos for the vibes. I think it is a lot of kids, but it's also a lot of men who are just like, I think they watch it to either get a little bit of a laugh or get a little bit of stoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's a lot of guys who just are like, maybe they don't get to surf every day, so they just grab a little bit of stoke from watching a guy be positive about crappy waves, you know?
That's a good thing of YouTube then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I always try to, I mean, dude, the easiest thing in life is to complain. Like, anyone can complain at any time. Like, I could come up with something to complain about right now. Like, we all could.
Yeah,
but, like, it would be so weird for me to just go online and be, like, making negativity. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
It's weird because some of the, like, political shows and stuff, whatever, YouTube or radio, or whatever, they all seem to be, they complain, and they're the biggest people out there. You're like, I trip out on that. Personally.
I know. There's like compulsive. I mean, dude, I get sucked into YouTube videos too. Like, I'll get sucked into YouTube like comedian drama that like I don't even care about, but I'm like,
I didn't know such a thing. Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm watching this, but like it's so interesting. And then I'm like, dude, what am I doing, dude? But I think there's something to like relating with people. You know, like everyone's kind of fucked up at the end of the day. You know,
like, 100%. We all are.
Yeah. So it's like, so I don't know.
What about? Do you think it's mostly males that are watching you?
I think so. Yeah,
probably. You're probably right. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you're like the original YouTube guy. There's been several shows that have come behind you that have kind of followed your lead.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fine with that? Is that cool? Or did you ever feel threatened?
No, I think there's room for everyone to do what they want to do. I just think like true success isn't necessarily, it's not YouTube numbers and it's not financial.
Mm-hmm.
I think true success is how you feel about your life.
Okay.
And I think that the one downfall of YouTube and a lot of people seeing what I've done become successful is that a lot of people will just do the same thing. I don't agree with people getting on as a means to an end. Like, I don't want to see people creating content because they think they're going to get famous or they think they're going to make money. I want to see people creating content because it's what's coming out of their heart.
I like that.
Sadly, that's not always going to be the case, but it is what it is. Like, everyone has a right to go out and do whatever they want with their time. So,
with that being said, I think we can see through them if they are faking it.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier. Like, I think you can see genuine still through a video.
Yeah. How many more ways is it possible to surf? Ways and waves. So one with a Y and one with a V.
Yeah, it's kind of been interesting, right? Like, novelty surfing has gone from completely obscure to completely mainstream within 5 years.
Yes.
So, but I think it's important to not be like, oh, I got to find the next best thing. You know, like, I think it's important for me to just keep on my path, and novelty ways are a big part of that. It's definitely harder to find them now, and it's just part of it. But I think there's still going to be some stuff that will blow our mind, like, in the coming future. But we have seen a lot. I don't think it's a good way to look at it if you think like, oh, everything's been done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe before I started doing what I was doing, everyone thought that everything had been done. And then who would have thought that I could have pulled this out of, like, I just found that lane. But
you did.
Maybe there's other lanes. You know what I mean? Who knows? I think potential and possibilities are endless in everything in life. But it's just a matter of, like, people thinking outside the box. That's why it hurts if people are just doing things that they think are going to be successful because they've seen other people doing it. I would love to see people thinking outside the box and going for it.
Wave pools, in my opinion, I think because of your novelty ways and the different ways you're surfing, that you've helped, not directly, but indirectly helped build inland surf pools and making them such a big part of surfing nowadays. Did you ever think about that?
Not really.
No? I feel like with Waco and some of these, I mean, of course, the movie North Shore starts off with, surfing a wave pool and then you go on and surfing, but it's becoming more accessible with wave pools every day. Middle America can surf, or middle Switzerland, or wherever they're having the wave pool built.
That's pretty cool. But I have made the joke before that I was like, in 10 years from now, people are going to be like, what do you mean this guy surfed every state? So did I. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in that direction.
I just went to every wave pool. It was pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny, dude. But how cool is that? Now when I drive to California, I can stop 20 times at 20 different wave pools on my way out. That's
right.
Rad.
What's your thoughts on wave pools?
I for the most part, like, I think they're kind of a waste of time.
Really?
Interesting. For the people who are, like, building them and getting all stoked on them. But I think those people just have so much money. So on that side of things. But on the side of, like, learning, they're great for learning. And on the side of, like, I always make this argument. Like, if you go to Kelly Slater's wave pool, you can rent it out for $50,000 for the day. It's a lot. It's a lot of money, right?
A lot of money.
You get 10 guys together and you rent it out for $50,000, so $5,000 a piece, and then you're like, okay, I'm guaranteed. How many ways do you get? I'm not even sure.
I don't know. I've never surfed it.
Maybe 10. So maybe you get 10 ways, but Here's the thing. A lot of people might spend close to $5,000 to go on a week-long surf trip, and they might not get barreled.
Right.
So you're definitely getting barreled at
That's a good point.
Slater's Wave Pool. I don't know. I love surfing in the natural world. Maybe if I had like just tens of millions of dollars, I'd build one too. But I'm not super like frothed on like seeing like the next wave pool drop. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. But I mean, there was a point in my life when I thought it was it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm also lucky that I've gotten to surf a few of them. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm cynical about it, but I'm kind of like, all right, that's cool. But chasing a swell and finding waves in the real world is like really something. It's like spiritual, you know?
Do you still like chasing swell?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you looking like around the world, like what's going to be happening? Or are you looking like more like what's going to happen down the street?
I look around the whole world.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of...
What's the best wave in the world you've surfed?
Man. Dude, I still think like maybe I haven't really surfed a good wave. I have so many friends who surf good waves, and I'm just like, wow, I don't know. I did a 10-day trip to Hossegor, France, and we got tubes every morning at La Gravière, just a shore break. Mm-hmm. And I think that was like the best waves I've ever surfed, just consistently. Like it was overhead tubes every day. So.
And super fun?
Really,
or was it gnarly?
Really fun. There was a couple days that were scary, but it was really, really fun and just super hollow and perfect. But I think the best waves I've caught, which is kind of crazy, but is at home in New Jersey, just big winter storms.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. 20 years ago, almost anybody in the world, you would have said New Jersey. They would have never, what? Over the last 5-10 years, it's been that in New York, kind of that East Coast region has really caught the eye of the people.
Yeah, well, it's also like surf forecasting has gotten so advanced, and I think us as surfers have gotten so keen to what's going on that, so like in the 90s, if there was a big nor'easter, even if it cleaned up later in the day,
yeah,
like the old heads would wait till the next morning to get it like really clean. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we're like paddling out because the surf line will be like literally the wind is going to switch in 10 minutes. So we'll paddle out before the wind goes offshore, or we'll be standing there waiting, watching it go offshore. So we get out there with the most potential to get the biggest tube. Whereas I think it was just more relaxed back in the day where they would just wait till the next day and they would get clean, fun surf all day. But also, are the waves getting bigger in New Jersey? It seems like they are.
Are they?
Every winter they're bigger. Okay. So
there you go.
I don't really know what's going on.
Have you ever been stuck out in a heavy situation out there in Jersey? Where you realize, oh shit, it's bigger than I thought, or it's colder, or whatever.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of situations where I realized it was bigger than I thought. But there's something about your home break, right? Like I've surfed waves in Jersey that are gnarlier than some of the days I've surfed at Backdoor. But at Backdoor, I'm way more intimidated at half the size because I don't know the bottom, I don't know the lineup, I'm not friends with everybody out there. Like I know some people in the crowd. It's just different. So like in Jersey, I'm super comfortable. Like so I want the biggest, baddest wave I can find in New Jersey. That is not the case at Backdoor. I want the safest looking, cleanest little right that I could get barreled and definitely come out of.
Yeah.
So I think if you're comfortable with a lineup, it helps a lot.
You have your own line of surfboard. What was the last custom surfboard you ordered?
Before I had
your line? The
Ben Gravy fiberglass boards?
Yeah.
So I've been with Brian Brown, the guy that shapes my boards, since 2015.
Wow,
so
okay.
I would order Super brand boards from him. He shaped it Super. And then he left Super and he started his label, which is Algorithm Surfboards. So I ordered a 3-pack of Algorithm Surfboards and then we started my label. So I've been with Brian for 10 years, pretty much. So, I mean, I experiment with other boards that I come across, but I haven't ordered any other boards from anyone.
What is the surf scene in Jersey?
It's growing.
Okay.
It's a lot of people who are definitely stoked to see what's going on. And winter surfing is getting more popular too. So it's interesting. It's cool.
Wetsuit technology is better than ever. So
Wetsuit technology is great. We wear 5 mils, boots, gloves, hood, and surf on the coldest day of the year.
That part's fascinating. Is it ever still too cold? Can it get too cold? No? Jeez.
I surfed.
I'll take your word for that.
Jersey, I mean, this is going to sound insane, but Jersey's relatively warm. Our water usually stays around 40.
That's so cold. Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's 10 degrees, but dude, I surfed in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
On Lake Superior. And the water was 28, and with the wind chill, it was negative 6 degrees out. So
that's borderline dangerous. I mean, that not borderline. It's dangerous at that point.
That might have been a little too cold. But it was pumping.
What about like chunks of ice or anything?
There wasn't any ice in the water. No, but that's pretty dangerous, dude. That would be sketchy.
Yeah, totally.
Like you can't really see it underwater.
Right. Yeah. You try to duck dive and you get hit, it'll knock you out.
Yeah.
Is surfing getting too crowded? What are your thoughts on the crowd factor? You just kind of mentioned it.
Nah, I don't think so. I think people get aggro for no reason because there's a lot of opportunity to surf other places. Me personally, unless I'm just screwing around on a longboard or a softie, I won't surf in a crowd. So I never have issues with crowds. I will just be like, I'll just use a little bit of my brain and be like, okay, there's 40 guys out here, but a half a mile up the beach, there's no one out, and the waves look pretty similar. I'm just going to go over there. Because there's a weird thing in surfing when it's always just me. And it's like, well, everyone else is equally allowed to be out here. So I don't know what the problem is, but I don't really deal with crowds. I just surf waves that no one wants to surf, or I just surf where no one's out.
Which made you famous.
Sure. I don't know why people get so caught up in it. I mean, if there's like 40 beginners out, why would you ever surf that spot, you know?
Okay. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that. I don't know if I agree with you, but that's fine. It's your interview.
Well, where's your local spot?
Well, Oceanside, it seems like...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
California and the East Coast are different.
Completely, yeah.
There's a lot going on in California.
Yeah.
But if I was you, I would just buy a jet ski and I would go.
No, I surf the worst places ever. When I surf in the afternoon.
I would buy a jet ski and just go zip around out Oceanside Harbor and see what's going on down the beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fire, and there's no one there.
Yeah,
base.
So there's potential, dude.
Oh, I guess there's always a way, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that etiquette is the same as when you started surfing?
No. Well, it's more mainstream, right? Especially
it is way more mainstream.
With the
Olympics in there.
Well, it's in the Olympics. There you go.
That's
but
mainstream
also,
as you can get.
Like COVID was crazy for surfing.
Yeah.
And so the adult learners, like, they just aren't going to have that etiquette because they don't have the same respect for the pecking order that we grew up respecting. Like
100%.
The guys that were older than us would yell at us, and the guys that were older than them would yell at them. And it kind of just is what it is. I never passed that down, to be honest with you. I always just like nicely, calmly explained to the Groms how it worked if they needed to learn about it. But yeah, I don't know because there is a new group of people surfing who don't understand a lot of the culture. So if you try to tell them something, maybe they wouldn't even listen to you. So
that's usually the case. I have found
it's gonna be interesting to see, but I mean, it's kind of, maybe it's annoying, but it's also kind of going to be pretty interesting to watch.
Well, you've already mentioned it. The culture has changed. Is it going to keep changing, and in what direction? Do you think it's ever going to go backwards?
No.
Where there is respect for the local guy that's been sitting there for 40 years on the same peak?
I mean, I'll always respect that guy.
Of course you will.
But I think it's going to keep going the way that it's going because there's more of them than there are of us. So
That's so true.
it's just so people who understand and have a respect for it are going to be the minority in the situation, and then
It already is that way.
You know, so I think it's pretty much over. But like we talked about, like there's always a way. There's a way around it.
Yeah. Just go down the beach.
So
you're right. Go down the beach.
Or just like ollie over them.
How did you come up with the idea, we'll go way backwards again, to start selling your own merch and stuff like that? Was that an easy process, or was that a challenge?
It was a challenge.
Okay.
Because when I was doing this in the beginning, I had very, very little money.
Mm-hmm.
So this company, it's called Matuna's Candles. They're from Northern California, actually. They approached me. They saw my video about the Great Lakes, and they said, "Hey, would you ever want to do a custom candle?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like a Ben Gravy candle. And I was like, "What?" Okay. That sounds pretty cool. So then I actually came up with the idea to do a pineapple surf wax candle. And I asked my wife at the time, well, she was my girlfriend at the time, but
yeah,
because she's good at like drawing with lead pencil. I asked her to help me draw the logo, and she drew the punk rock pineapple.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right, this is cool. So it's grown and changed a little bit. It's pretty much what it was, the logo. But then we made that candle, and I made 100 of the candles, and that was a big investment for me because I think they cost me like $7 a pop to make, and then I was selling them for 10. But then when I made the candles, my viewers were really stoked on them, and they were like really high quality organic candles. And then they were like, "Hey, you should put this on a t-shirt. You should put this on a sweatshirt." So then I started slow. Like I made 50 t-shirts, and then I made 100 t-shirts. Then I made 40 sweatshirts. So then I eventually got to the point where I licensed my logo to Cat Surf, and then we made the boards, and then they made a bunch of clothes, and then that turned into a Sector 9 license, and then a Hyperflex wetsuit license, and then it just has just become like
just blossom,
utter madness. But yeah, it's just like it's been an amazing process. But we created that logo in 2017, so it's been this whole time to get to where it is now, where it's kind of like it's like a recognizable brand. And
so are you a businessman now with this? Does this make you a businessman?
I'm better at it than I was.
Okay.
Like you learn every time that you do something. I think the thing that I've learned about myself is that I license my logo out so that they can do that.
Yeah, got that.
Like if it's a product that I like soft tops or a wetsuit,
yeah,
they can deal with that, and I'll just use the product and enjoy it and enjoy my life because I'm not a sales guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just, I think I'm good at doing what I'm doing. So it's weird because you learn as you go, but I never look at anything and say like, I'm only doing this because it's going to have a financial gain,
Okay. Cool.
Everything that I still do is for the love of it. Like, I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
But this is not a profitable venture.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the stoke. But maybe one day it will become one, but this is just like to grow the levels of stoke outside of my surfing circle. But I don't know. You have to make money too. So
you have to live.
Yeah.
Some way or another. It's either going to be a commercial or something. You have to make money.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
And I like to give as much value as I can, but then, every now and then I will promote, like, I do the collaborations with DJI sometimes, the camera company. But it's like I also use the camera, and I do love the camera. And, it's not the best thing ever to be doing a sales pitch in your videos, but at the same time, it's like if I want to continue doing this, I have to do that. If I could give 5 to 10 videos without a sales pitch, and then I got to put a sales pitch in one. Like it's just how it has to be. But
Right. I agree.
And I don't love that, but it's part of it.
But your audience will let you know if you've gone too far.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely.
Yeah. If people are watching it, then there's a reason why they're watching it. It's for entertainment or there's some value. Do you consider yourself famous? Is that a hard question?
No, I don't. But look, if you're famous, there's always someone more famous than you. If you're there's always someone more rich than you. If you're but I don't think about that kind of stuff. I think about I don't know, we went to an event yesterday. It was a 50th anniversary for a surf shop, and they had a big event, big party. And we rolled up, and I got a line at my booth, and I just started signing stuff, and it's all good. And I just signed stuff for 2 hours, and people were stoked, and we were taking pictures and everything. But in my eyes, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, this is awesome. This looks so good. I'm big time. I'm thinking, damn, these guys came here for real because they watched a few of my videos and they liked the energy that I was putting out, and they actually took their time out of their day to come say hi to me.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
It's what an honor,
Yeah, I agree with you.
Who am I, And I get it that people have anxiety or they don't want to go out of their shell, or maybe people won't go to the lengths that I've gone to chase down their dreams, and that resonates with people, and they root for me because I guess I'm willing to go to that next step and push it. But it's definitely not something that I've been able to understand or wrap my head around. But I kind of just roll with it. You gotta just live. And something that happens that's pretty funny is people will come up and be like, "Yo, man, what's up?" And I'll talk to them for a couple of minutes, and my wife goes, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." He knew me, but I just picked up on his energy, because if he knows my energy, then I already understand this person, and we're good.
Yeah.
We can just have a conversation.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it's good. And you know what? That's the positive thing about social media.
Where's the weirdest place someone's recognized you?
Okay. There's been a lot, but
okay.
I was with my brother, and we were in, it wasn't Missouri, I think it was Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma, and I was vlogging every day when I was doing the 50 states. And we went into a McDonald's, and there was a guy in line watching my vlog in the line at McDonald's that we chose in front of us, and my brother didn't say anything because I'm an airhead. I'm just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a. By the way, I love McDonald's coffee.
Okay, there you go.
Hot take, but my brother ran out to the car without saying anything. Came in with his camera and came up to this guy and said, "Yo, what's the claim?" And the guy looked up and he's like, "No way, it's you guys!" And it was cool. Wild because we uploaded that video that morning and he was in line at the same McDonald's watching it, and rad. It was wild in the middle of Oklahoma.
That's so rad.
It was cool. All
right. Well, Ben Gravy, thank you for coming on the QuiverCast. I feel like we could talk for another couple hours, but yeah, thanks for all you do. You really do put a smile on my face when I'm watching your videos.
I'm happy to hear it, dude.
Even if I didn't know that, which I didn't. That's super rad. So, well, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. I'm honored to be here, and I just thought I should tell you, dude, you're good at this. Your questions are great.
Oh, cool.
They made me go in, all
right,
good stories and talking and stuff. It was good. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, everybody. This is Mike and Ben Gravy, and we are out of here. Later.
I just want to surf. I don't want to work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. I just want to surf. I don't want to work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. Slippery. Hey.
My boss that I quit as I jumped into the whip. Now we're heading down the beach with some chicks for a dip, and the wind's gone west. Perfect right to left. Got my new surfboard and my wetsuit vest. El Slammer to Cronulla, USA. Down under, I just wanna surf with the gang all summer. No job, that's cool. Surf's up, no school.
I just wanna surf. I don't wanna work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. I just wanna surf. I don't wanna work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. I keep losing all my flippity flops, checking spots, ripping rocks, wearing Shred Gang socks. Clock's ticking, boss tripping, why's the bread not stocked? Store's locked, about to get my bloody head ripped off. But I'm staying on the novelty ways, big caves, feeling brave, soft top for days. Offset the game with surf rapping claims. We laugh at the fakes for half-assing ways. Feels like Moondock and next set looking proper. El Slammer to Cronulla, yeah, we're throwing up the shockers. No swell, that's cool. No job, no rules. We just wanna serve. We don't wanna work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. We just wanna surf. We don't wanna work no more. The wind just went offshore. I'm quitting my job at the liquor store. We just wanna surf. Woo! Woo!
That was it, dude. That was the one that got you signed. The dream, dude.
I can't do intros.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.